All right, so picking up right where I left off, we have our two-dimensional design here, and we need to work into 3 dimensions. So let's hit Finish Sketch, and let's see. I want to extrude. Oh, this is actually an important part. Okay, so let's extrude. Actually, I want to extrude my walls first. Yeah, and then so I'm gonna extrude these pieces, and then I'm gonna extrude the top. I think that's a good place to start. Um, hmm. Yeah, there's definitely just different ways that I could do this. All right, so I'm gonna go with one way, but of course there's gonna be different ways that we could get this done. So I'm gonna do. Well, we'll treat this like the base. That's fine. We'll treat this like the base. So we're gonna extrude this up. So I'm gonna grab a single one of these. I'm gonna extrude. I'm gonna grab this center piece, and let's see. I need to do this. Oh, I wish maybe it'd be good to have a sketch on the side, but I'm just gonna do this as. Let's say I'm gonna say height. But then if I look at this piece, the way that I want to do this, oh, actually for this one, the way this is built, this piece goes from the top, from the bottom all the way to the top. So actually this is this is easier than the design I was thinking of. This is going to go all the way to the top. So then when we do our extrusion, when we do extrude, do we get it to height? It's weird working on this. Good. All right, so we have one wall in. Looks like our sketch got hidden there. All right, so we have one wall up. Okay, now here's the tricky part, and here's where you need to be really careful. We're going to do extrude on the next piece. I'm going to hit extrude. I'm going to click on this. I similarly want this to be at height. That's fine, but I need to be really careful about my extrude options over here. I'm not going to worry too much about this for right now, although there's some important things in there. What's really important is the operation. If we had joined, this makes 2 solid pieces. Like, okay, that's great for 3D printing. We want to have one solid body. But when we're doing woodworking, we really want this to be a separate piece so that we can have all these different pieces we're going to work with. So we can do this as a new body. Okay. Also, for some of you advanced people, like we could probably do I could do a circular. There's like a lot of different ways we could do this. I could do one of these pattern and do like a circular pattern, but I'm not. I'm just not going to do that for this. But just to be aware, there are other ways we could do this. So I'm going to say okay. I'm going to add in this piece, and we're going to say height again. I need to make sure good is still set to. Oh, it's going to do join by default, so we need to hit new body, sketch, height, and then we need to do new body. There's a lot of cool things we can do in there when we create a new piece, joining, or typically we don't want to join, but we might want to cut. There's a lot of cool things we could do in there. All right, so we're mostly good here. Let's get in the piece on the bottom, and we should be kind of ready to go here. So let's also extrude this. This should just be the thickness of the wood. And we can get in a piece. Oh, hopefully, I think I was a little too fast on that one. I should see now 5 bodies. Oh, why do I only have 1 body? Oh, I think when I joined that, I really messed everything up. Now let's go back to this. We're going to hit extrude on this. I want to make sure I'm doing a new body. Let's do thickness. See, I just hit enter twice, and I messed everything up. I don't want to do join. I think I joined all of the existing bodies together. I do want to make a new body. I'm going to say, there we go. So now if we get rid of our sketch, we should be able to see our little box here. We can get rid of some parts. All right, so now we can see, again, you can hide the visibility on these quickly like that. Okay, there's 2 different ways I could get this. Really want to get that piece on top. I mean, technically, we already have this piece and they're going to be mirrors. If I want to fully do this, let's see. I think there's a couple options here. All right, so what I'm going to do on this, I can show you 2 options, I guess. I could make a sketch on top of here. I don't think I can just directly extrude this. I would need to create a sketch. I could create a sketch on top of here. Draw in this rectangle based on these points, based on the point here. Oh, I'd need to probably have to do our old friend the project onto here. I would need to get access to a couple points. Let's see, I could like project this point. I could project this point. Hit OK. And then when I hide all the bodies, which sounds worse than it is, I could do a rectangle from here to there. And then when I get my bodies back in there, I can extrude this thing. Let's hide all those. Do we finish? So it should be able to be like minus thickness. And same thing, we'd have to do new body. That's one option. We can create a sketch. That works. A little bit tedious. I had to project some points. Another thing I could do in here, if I get rid of this sketch, I can also go in and click on this thing. I can do, I think it's, oh, where was it? We need to move and copy. We're going to select the move object, which is going to be a body. We want this to translate. We want to do this as a create a copy, and then we want to see how much do we want to move in the Z distance. It should be, I think it's going to be the height minus 0.5 because of the thickness of the wood. I think it's going to be like, we want to move it, if we move it up to full height, 6 inches, then it's going to be just kind of proud of this. It's going to be totally protruding from the top. So we want to do, this is the height minus the wood thickness. Right, so there's a couple different options we could do in there. Great, so we have that design here. And again, we can reference all these sides. I can know that this is 5.5, this is 5, this is 5.5. Let's see the interior length here. I wonder if I can get rid of some of these bodies, maybe just to select a side here. Yeah, we can see that that's 5. So this is really clear because it's like, oh, well, it's an inch and it's a half inch. So, okay, so it's pretty clear numbers. Give me 1 second here. All right, so when we're dealing with real actual wood pieces, let me zero this out. I have my calipers here. So in wood, there's this whole thing where we call wood by certain names, like we say it's a half inch. Nominally, like by name, it's a half inch, but the reality is it's a little bit smaller. Even like our 1/4 inch plywood is really like 0.22 inches instead of 0.25. So we can actually check this on here. Let's see. Let's see if this is exactly. So this one is actually, it's pretty close, but it's closer to like 4, I don't know if you can see that, like 459 or like 0.46. So it's pretty close, but it is like a little bit off. So especially if you're doing like laser cut pieces where we're being really precise, but you know, that's not an insignificant amount of difference. Like we want to make things to really fit tightly. So we should actually update this to be, what I say was that size, like 4.6. If I update this one value, the entire rest of the drawing will update. So now I can see this length. The width of the wood is 0.46, and that means that this distance should now be like 5.04, like a little bit of a smidge over 5 inches. Also, if I want to change this later on, like I said, this is a 1/4 inch wood. I should be able to go into here, and you know, if I was doing this out of 1/4 inch, excuse me, I could change this to like 0.22, or maybe it's a little bit thicker. I have to actually get a piece and measure it. Hit OK, and everything will update to match that size of wood, and it'll give me the exact dimensions I need for each piece. Look, now this is 5.78. So parameters are really, really helpful for working with our designs and making them easy to modify. And that's what we're going to work on as we go forward.